All right, here we're given 2 points, no graph, and we need to come up with the slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b form. We call it the slope-intercept form because the slope and the intercept are very clearly seen right here. So we need to come up with this equation. This is the general equation. We need to come up with the specific equation of a line that goes through these 2 points without writing a graph. The first step that we do is we find out what the slope is of this imaginary line that goes between these 2 points, through these 2 points. So let's call this point 1 and this point 2. And again, you could have called this point 2 and this point 1, it doesn't matter. Now that we have decided which one is which, let's come up with our x and y for each. And then, since this is the x value of point 1, we'll call it x1. Since this is the y value of point 1, we'll label it y1. And same thing for these guys, we'll call this x2 and y2. Our slope is always y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Remember, our change, our horizontal change is always on the bottom, and our vertical change is always on top. So now let's substitute in. So y1 is 36 minus y2 is negative 3. Now this is tricky. It's 36 minus, right? We need the minus here. And then y2 is itself also negative, and that's okay. So we're subtracting a negative, all right? Now here on the bottom, we have x1, which is 8, minus x2. Again, x2 itself is negative. So it's x1 minus x2, but x2 is negative 5. So it's minus negative 5. Okay, so here we have 36 minus negative 3, 36 minus negative 3 over 8 minus negative 5. When you have 2 subtraction signs right next to each other, they become addition signs, all right? So it's really 36 plus 3 over 8 plus 5. So that's 39 over 13. Now our final step that we need to do is reduce this if we can. Turns out that we can reduce this. 3 goes into 39 3 times. 3 times 13 is 39. So the slope here is 3. So m equals 3. We found out what our slope was. So that is half of our problem. We need to find out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. We found out what the slope is. Now we just need to find out what our b is. Very close. We've done half the problem right now. Okay, so what we can do is we have enough information to write this. We have enough information to write y equals 3x plus b. We just need to figure out what that b is. Remember, these 2 points are on this line. Whatever the line looks like, we don't know what it looks like because we don't have a graph of it, but we do know because we were told that these 2 points lie on that line. What does that mean? That means that both of these points, when plugged into the equation, balances the equation out. Meaning that if this is grape juice and this is blueberry juice, 8 ounces of 8 ounces of grape juice and 36 ounces of blueberry juice will be the perfect amount to mix together to make balanced punch. Now I know this is getting a little bit abstract, but even if you had, and again, negative 5 ounces of grape juice and negative 3 ounces of blueberry juice, you mix those together and it will come up with balanced blue punch as well. Just think of this as being magical punch. But we're getting abstract here, and that's okay. The metaphor of the blue punch is a little stretched here, but you can see that once you plug in this for your x value and this for your y value, it will balance the punch out or it'll balance the equation out. You can use either of these lines, either of these points, because both of these points are on the line and they both balance the equation out. So we need to find out what the b is that will help us balance the equation out, given either of these 2 points. We could use either of these 2 points, it doesn't matter. In fact, I'll use both and I'll come up with the same b. So if 36 is our y, and 8 is our x, you see I substituted in 8 for x and 36 for y because they're on the line. Now I need to figure out what the b is that will help me balance this equation. So 36 equals 3 times 8 is 24. I subtract 24 from both sides. 36 minus 24 is 12. So the b is 12, meaning I can now go over here and erase the b and put in 12 because I now know the quantity, and that's 12, meaning this imaginary line has a slope of 3 and it goes through the y-axis at 0, 12. Now, if I had picked the other point, I would have gotten the same 12 as the answer, because these guys also balance the equation. So if I put in negative 3 equals 3 times x, in this case negative 5, plus b, that's negative 3 equals negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And then I add 15 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 15 is a positive 12. These cancel out, I'm left with b equals 12. Again, same b that I came up here. So here is an example where I only had 2 points, no graph, and I came up with the entire slope-intercept form of the equation without having to count anything out.